Hi guys, Miss Womack, and I'm hoping that this video will clear up any misconceptions you may have on phase shift, especially as we approach taking more tests, and we'll probably see these with inverse as well. So, I don't think you guys are having too much trouble with identifying the A, which here is the -1, the B term, which is actually 2, and our C term is going to be -pi-halves. And there is no D term. There's our C, there is no D. So I think you guys are getting better at identifying those. When we see parentheses, note that there is going to be some type of phase shift, which means it will shift left or right. Which brings us to which way will this one go? I see a minus sign there, which means it'll actually shift to the right. So I know it's going to move to the right. So let's look at all the data that we have here. The first thing we know is from the A term, we will witness a flip. The original wave or tangent wave that we see is actually going to flip. The period is going to be pi divided by 2. Now that's very significant. With tangent and cotangent, remember it's going to be pi divided by whatever is in the B position. And I see a 2 right there. That is where that's coming from. So it's pi divided by 2. The last one is our phase shift, and our phase shift is going to be the opposite of C over B, but really the change of the sign really just means direction, and we already talked about this one shifting to the right. So let's do the other part, the math. C is actually pi-halves, and we're going to have to divide that by 2. No, those 2's will not cancel out. We'll leave the pi-halves, change it to multiplication, flip it to 1/2, and it's actually pi-fourths. You guys are getting stronger and stronger and stronger with that. Now, I think the reason why this one's giving you such grief is that as we look at our original tangent function, it kind of looks like this. And let's talk about those points. I know that looks a little rough, but let's look at the 5 points that we're measuring it by. This asymptote is at -pi-halves. We know that this asymptote is going to be at +pi-halves, which means the middle point right here is at 0, and this is the parent function, not the shifts. And then we have -pi-fourths and +pi-fourths. Now, the significance of this is you need to understand your fractions. That those are the 5 points that we're looking for and the ones that we're transforming and finding at our new destination. And what made this difficult is it would be so easy if we didn't play with a period and we said, hey, the phase shift is pi-fourths, because then everybody would just kind of move to the right to pi-fourths, right? And that would be so easy to do. But in fact, what's happened is a double transformation. The period is reduced, therefore this larger wave is going to be kind of pulled in like this to our asymptotes, or our new asymptotes would be at pi-fourths and -pi-fourths. And then kind of it's moving as well. So if you would actually maybe think about moving the center of it, whatever's at 0, to the right pi-fourths, then and only then will you actually see. So if we shift that over to pi-fourths, and think about it as our center. Again, we've shifted it over to pi-fourths, and this is our center now. And it's not going to exceed, and you can almost visualize that it has to fit between 0 and pi-halves. So there'll be equal distance between of our two asymptotes. That's going to be our center point right here. And if we have an asymptote here and here, kind of splitting it in half, I might could have done a little bit better than that. Then that will actually be, our points on the end would be at 0 right here and pi-halves. The significance of these points is we can't exceed our period. The period of this wave cannot be larger than pi-halves. Have we? No. So and also our flip, let's go ahead and take care of that. That upper hand is going to go back, and then this one's going to go down, which play with that a little bit more. We've been kind of flipped that one, just like you did your quadratics, and we talked about that. And our last points are going to be middle ways between 0 and a fourth, which if you think about pizza, you're right there. So this one's going to be pi eighths, and now we can count by eighths. 0 pi eighths, 1 pi eighths, 2 pi eighths, which is our pi fourths, and this one right here is going to be 3 pi eighths. Hope this helps. Good luck with this one. Thanks, guys.